All right, guys, let's continue with the next part. So, plan for today. Plan for today is, guys, we are going to discuss a concept called pipeline, and we are going to implement first pipeline today. So, maybe from the first day onward, I might use this term multiple time. What is a pipeline? Okay. So today's the day where I will explain you the meaning of pipeline. Pretty simple concept actually, right? Because a lot of concept of Jenkins we know, and multiple use cases that can be solved with Jenkins we know, and plus we also implemented. So because you know multiple concept of Jenkins already, so understanding the pipeline won't be the big deal. So my plan for today is just a pipeline. I will explain you what is pipeline, and then I'll show you how to create a pipeline. And there will be a lot of plugins like delivery pipeline plugins or build pipeline plugins and some more advanced that we will discuss in the upcoming class, right? So the plan for today is just to discuss about the pipeline. So to understand the pipeline, guys, again, let me explain you the scenario, the same kind of scenario that we have worked on. So in central, I can say we have Jenkins. Okay, and Jenkins is our automation engine or automation server. So what happened normally when developer write a code, and after developer push the code to some central management system, maybe GitHub or Mercurial or SVN or so there were multiple SCM we have, but let's say they put the code in the SCM. Okay, and after they put the SCM, my Jenkins is the one who will help me to download. So this is the first thing Jenkins will do for you. Okay, next, depend upon the requirement, we ask Jenkins to go to some of my worker node. Either this worker node is already available, or we ask the Jenkins to launch this worker node dynamically with the help of Docker, both the practice I show to you. So we ask Jenkins first launch the worker node. Okay, and after the launch the worker node, push this code whatever you downloaded okay, to this worker node. And why we want you to push? Because after you push this, let's say this code will be Java, so in this worker node you might have Maven, and Maven will help you to build it. Okay, so guys, understand one thing: the system or the computer or the instance or the container who help you uh, to to compile the code plus create a package from the code or from the compiled code. So this system is also known as a build server. So Maven is a pro tool that will help you to create the build server. So what Maven will do? Two main thing. One, they compile the code. I show you already, and most of things they also do. But after this, they also package the code for us. Okay. So again, this is the one more step that is a bigger step. But let's say this is step number two. That will do this kind of setup for you. Okay, after this everything is done. After everything is done, we might ask Jenkins whatever package you have created. Let's say this package is uh, finally a war file. War is what archive of web is, technically is called web app. So in the Java world, if your code is created for the web app, so finally your package normally will create it in a format called war. So let's say the website we put in the war file, and after we put the website on the war file, this is just a package, or this is just a software. And if you want to run the software so that your client will able to reach to your site. So this app, maybe in this world it is also known as artifact, but this particular war file or package you have to deploy. And normally, guys, we have to deploy on the top of app server. If you have PHP code, you deploy on the web server. Similarly, if you Java code, and the Java code is the is the web app, so that code you have to deploy on the top of app server. And multiple web server, guys, we have in the market. Tomcat is very famous. Otherwise, JBoss, I highly recommend WebSphere, WebLogics, and more kind of tool or servers we have. Okay, but for this app server, let's say you need Tomcat or Apache web server, just for example. You need some kind of server, And from where you get this environment, again you have one more worker node. Okay, like this. So this is the worker node we have, and you have one more worker node. Either the worker node already available, but maybe on the fly you will launch the worker node again with the help of dynamic provisioning, that's called with the help of Docker. So ask the Docker, they will launch this entire worker node. And in this worker node they have a Tomcat server running, or app server, web server running. And what you do, you will copy your war file here or deploy the war file here. Okay, so guys, this is again one more step, step number 3. So almost something like this we have done multiple practicals. Okay, but in this practical, if you try to understand, is a one single is one single thing, is a part of one single process. Okay, so final motto is, we have a code that's written by developer, and this code we have to deploy on our app server or maybe on the web server. Okay, the one thing. By the way, guys, if anybody don't know what is app server, okay, so I think you guys know web server. So think web server means web server. Is obviously this is different, but don't precise your mind. Just try to focus that this is the one kind of server, maybe web server. Okay. Now, the important point here is, if this your final requirement from here, you want to reach here. Okay, so technically there's three major steps here. One, we download the code, and for downloading the code, we also require one more thing, guys. We require git software, git plugins, and something like this. And maybe it is always good practice, I told you multiple times, whatever you do, never try to run everything, none of the things in the master node. Maybe if you want to download the code, maybe you want to download the code, don't download directly on the master node with the help of git command. Otherwise, in the master node, you have to first install the git software. So git plugins you need in the Jenkins, but if your system where the job is running, that system don't have a git command available, so thing won't work. Okay, so any of the tool you use Maven, you use Git, you use Tomcat server, always try to create one more separate node as a worker node. Worker node. And in this worker node, install the git here. So whenever you have a requirement that I want this step number 1, that will go and download the code from SCM, so ask this worker node. They will go to SCM, download code, because this worker node has a git command available, so they download in their computer. And Jenkins has kept somehow capability that will get that code from this worker node and provide to this Maven. And we have some capabilities where we copy the package from this worker node and provide it to this worker node. Okay, so worker node, you guys know, static worker node, dynamic worker node, and everything. You guys know how to allocate something to the worker node. So finally, by looking at this diagram, in this diagram, guys, we have one challenge. Okay, the challenge is something like this. So if I again redraw the diagram, we have Jenkins server running only in one node that's called master node. Or in my case, this is the master node. So this system, guys, here by in Jenkins running, maybe in my case, this IP might be 1.5. Okay. Now, what we want, okay, in one single process, I want one dedicated worker node, let's say IP1, where we do all the Git activities. One more worker node I have, there's IP2, where we do all the build activities, Maven, for example. Or worker node 3, I want to do all the deploy activity or deployment activity, let's say Tomcat server or web server. This is my requirement. And these are the individual worker node, either you dynamically create or statically create, that will be your choice. Okay, now guys, this is a very common things, common kind of setup we have. Okay, now challenge guys here is how to launch this environment. Not big deal, we have a Docker image, we ask Docker quickly launch this instance whenever we need. Okay, but this step number 1, or say IP1, IP2, IP3, whatever they are doing, they're doing for one single process. And guys, one single process means this step number 1, get Maven and deploy. And normally, guys, if you want, Jenkins will do this thing for you. All the steps we put in one box, it is called job. Okay, so we create the job, and job is the one who will get Maven and deployment part. Okay, but if you want to achieve this setup, what I'm looking for, okay, okay, achieving this setup by single job is very hard, or maybe I can say impossible. Okay, somehow impossible, I can say. Okay, why I'm saying this? Because whenever you create a job, you always assign the job with one of the node. So either you assign the job to node IP1, node 2, or node 3. Okay, but here, by chance, let's say you create a job, then we have three steps that we did till date already, and there's three steps we have. Or in this three step, if you allocate this job to node number 1, for example, so finally your job means all three steps will run into node 1. So node 1, if they run, step number 1 will be fulfilled because they have a get already. But step 2 require Maven, but in this node we don't have Maven because we create a separate worker node or slave node uh, for the Maven. So I want the step number 2 of my job will run in this computer. Step number 3 will run on this computer. Okay, so for this I have to allocate my job to node 1 also, to node 2 also, to node 3 also, but technically one job you can allocate to one node only. Okay, so guys, if you we've seen guys this thing very quickly, just to properly visualize what I'm talking about. So let me log into to the Jenkins. And whenever you guys create a job, I means item, let's say the Z1 for example, freestyle. Okay, in one job, in one job you can write all the steps, technically all the steps. You ask the git where for download, we can run the build triggers, we can run the build environment, and here guys you can put the scripts, docker, shell commands, Maven, everything you can do. Hundreds of build you can put here, post you can put here. Okay, in one single job you can put everything, but one single job can only be allocated to, restricted to only one particular node, maybe master node or maybe worker node, but only one particular node. Okay, that is a challenge. Even though we also don't want my entire job to be allocated to one node, because I want to have a separate duty or the responsibility for all this stuff. Step 1 is responsibility by IP1. Step 3 has a responsibility done by IP3. Okay, because it's not like a simple code, we have a huge code Maven, we need dedicated. Oh, plus we also help in guys in proper auditing, log management, because if a separate system, we can properly provide, we can we can manage the resources also. If Maven don't need so much RAM and CPU, we give a less. This guy got more RAM and CPU, we give more. So controlling, managing, auditing, security, everything guys helpful if you have a separate node for every job, sorry, every steps in the job. So finally what I'm talking about, okay, if this is a requirement that we already done, step 1, step 2, step 3, but here today I want everything to be done in a different slave node. Okay, for this the only way and the right way is we can create job per step. Okay, step that means it's just like a date command, cal command, one logical step. So I know Git might do some multiple thing for you. So let's create one step for Git. Okay, and for this step, number 1 for the Git, let me create a separate job. Let's say job number 1. So job number 1 will do all the activity of the Git. Okay, step number 2 will more related to Maven, and Maven might do a lot of things for you. So let's say step number 2 will do Maven thing or build thing. So just create separate job for it. And step 3, okay, maybe deployment Tomcat, let's create separate job for this. So this job will only do Git thing, this will do Maven thing, and this will do only only with deployment. Okay, now it is your plan, your way, how you want to design this. Maybe somebody Maven and deployment same thing, Maven Git same thing, but very high level. I'm just, let's think this is a 3 separate thing or independent thing, and everything I will put a separate job. Okay, but understand one thing guys. Okay, this is job 1, job 2, job 3, and according to Jenkins these are 3 different jobs. Okay, but if you only run one job, it won't fulfill your end-to-end implement. Okay, so by end-to-end requirement is from the code to the final deployment, everything to be done. But here first step is done by job one, this is done by job two, and this is done by job three. So if you run one single job, it's not useful. Okay, I want my job to be run, I want all the job to be run, job one, job two, and job three, but in the same sequence. Sequence also matter. Plus, also there might be requirements sometime might be my job fail. And technically I also want to track this. If job 2 fail, there is no meaning to run the job 3, because job 2 fail, my software won't build. Without building software, how we can deploy it? Okay, or maybe there might be possibility in some use cases, if job 2 fail or job 3 fail, in both the cases I want job 3 to be run. Or let's say my job 3 might be the one who will send the mail. In both the cases I want my mail to be sent. So technically what I'm doing here, right, I am linking job 1 do one thing, then job 2 will do one thing, job 3 will do one thing. And with all the things done, it's become a complete process done. Okay, but how we complete this process? By linking this job like this. And by chance, guys, this linking is called pipeline. So guys, this is the meaning of the pipeline, and this is the way, or this is a use case of the pipeline what I am discussing right now. So pipeline is a great way to manage lots of things. Okay, one of the good example I explained to you here, that is very much logical, because this kind of example we've seen already. But by just by one single job, now I'm, it is like something known as a refactoring kind of thing, right? Something like this. So one single job I'm allocating to a separate job, job 2, job 3. And now when I, because this is a separate job, so I can tell job 1 you run on node 1, job 2 you run on node 2, job 3 you run on node 3. But when you complete job run, my pipeline done. What pipeline doing? Pipeline is my this entire end to end process. Okay, so typically this is again very very simple example, but if you go for bigger deployment, maybe between you might have hundreds of steps. Okay, and might be require hundreds or maybe 10 50 different work on node to be used, and maybe 10 or 50 different jobs to be created, and every jobs to be connected like this. Okay, and now it is your choice. It is your choice. You can set a condition here. Condition here is, for example, if you go to this particular Jenkins right now, and if I run my this job number, job 2 or job 3, both are independent. If this job 2 fail or pass, it won't impact job 3. Both will run in parallel also. I show you already, because we have multiple executors. Okay, but they don't have no dependencies. But here we can set the dependency and say job 2 if you fail, don't run job 3. Job 2 if you pass, then run job 3, or maybe vice versa. Okay, plus we can set the sequence, job run one, then this one, then this one, because it obviously it makes sense, and it's called pipeline. So we can create a pipeline of the steps technically by the job. And one of the big reason to create the pipeline, okay, is to separate the duty. Okay, maybe there might be possibility the job 3 is managed by a different team altogether. Ask them, this is, please go and manage your job, provide your Docker images, who will launch this, manage these images, or whatever you want to do here. Please create a job for me. And this is done by maybe build guys or other team members. Okay, so multiple team work together maybe, but finally, when we create this end-to-end setup, okay, we'll connect all the jobs together, and just clicking on job 1, right, automatically all the job automatically run for you, and finally job 3 will do the final thing, whatever you're looking for. Okay, so that is the one good use case. Other use case I already explained to you. I always need worker node to be used for running my steps. And now in one job you have multiple need you have, so multiple environment you need. So only way to do this and possibility is by having multiple jobs for all the steps. Okay, but so creating the job, you guys know, launching the worker node dynamically static, you guys know. Okay, so today I'm just showing to show you how to create the pipeline, and that is so simple, because if you know till date everything practically we've seen, so creating the pipeline is not the big deal. Okay, there's a plan for today. And uh, that's all. And just one vocabulary I just want to tell you here is, if you talk about the job 2 perspective, okay, job 2 say, I won't run till my job 1 run. So I'm purely dependent on job 1. And if I run, then I run job 3. So if you talk about, just talk about job 2 perspective, okay, so for the job 2, job 1 is called upstream job. Okay, and job 3 is known as downstream job. And normally guys, sometimes job will create set up the entire projects for you. If one job is setting up the entire project for you, so I can say this job is an upstream project for me, if you talk about job 2 perspective, and this project is about downstream project for me. Just very quick example. A quick example to understand this. So if you guys know Red Hat, so from where the Red Hat OS code come from, so it come from Fedora community. But after Red Hat code come up, how they again go give back to the community by CentOS, or they used to use CentOS community. So for the Red Hat, Fedora is upstream project, and for the Red Hat, CentOS is the downstream project. Right? It's a bigger example because lots of things they have to do just to make you understand upstream and downstream. That's the main. So technically, if you want to get pipeline, so you have to tell who is your upstream job and who is your downstream job. So by this, you're actually linking these job together. Or maybe there might possibility you have one more job, job 4. So for job 3, job 2 is a upstream, and for job 3, job 4 is a downstream. So this is a way typically in the Jenkins you link the job together to create a pipeline. So this is the general vocabulary guys you should know. So let me guys show you this demo. So guys, again, I'm not creating this entire environment because you know everything. To save the time, I'm showing this demonstration just by creating some basic general jobs. Okay, but before I guys show you this practical, let me explain you one more small concept, very small concept of Jenkins. Normally guys, Jenkins server or used by multiple teams, and you might see hundreds and thousands of jobs in this page. So it's harder to manage. Okay, so what normally we do, we create we say, for example, J1, job 2, job 3 is managed by one team or one project or one one part of the team maybe. Okay, so what they do, they create one package of this job and put in a separate box. Means just to manage, that's called view. So the top, you can see there's a plus icon here in the top. Okay, so what I mean by this, so we click on plus. Here they ask you, can you give your view name? Let's say this is my Linux world view what? Or this I'm team 1, this is a team 4 project for testing. So just create a view name or just list the view. What it will do for you, I will explain you in a minute. So pretty simple, nothing special here. Okay, and just I'm using list view, not other one, list view, and okay. And now here they ask me, when anybody come to this view or this box, okay, which jobs they can see or which jobs they can manage. Okay, so let's say I want to manage this job. So what all the jobs that you have right now, they listed here. Okay, you select all this job and finally, okay, that's all. So what happened guys, if anybody come to this portal, they can see all the jobs by all the team, maybe or maybe by you. But maybe some of the job is very important for you, so you create one extra view for it. And here you all the job that you want to manage in this box, you can see it. So technically there's no technical change here, everything you can do the way you do, but by having the view, at least you can see the view of it. So all the important critical job or per requirement job or per use case kind of job will create in separate box. So you can create a multiple view, okay, and give your view whatever name you want to give. So this is the guys meaning of the view. Okay, nothing special here. All is also one view that will show you all the view in your Jenkins. So that is a basic meaning of the view. Okay, so let's come to a main topic called pipeline. Okay, why I explain you view? Because today when we create a pipeline, again there also we have to use a concept called view. Okay, so if you want to create a pipeline, view we have to use. So I will explain you again one more time view, but technically it's just a way to manage the thing, or I can say organize the thing. Okay, now let's go to pipeline. So for this, what I'm doing here, I'm creating three jobs. Okay, let's say this is called uh, a job one freestyle. Okay, and I'm doing only one small thing, create a shell command, and I'm running a command called sleep 10 seconds just to show you something is working. Okay, and save. Very simple job. Okay, same way, let me create one more job. So a job 2 freestyle. Okay, same thing I'm doing here. Build, and here I'm running a command called sleep. It will wait your job, hold your job for 5 seconds. So I'm just trying to simulate the environment. Just think we are running something and my program take 5 to 10 seconds. So that's what I'm trying to simulate here. Okay, and this one, and build, uh, execute cell, and let's say it's wait for again for let's say 4 seconds. Okay, but understand guys, this is an independent job. In your case, the job is doing deployment, and because this is an independent job, so here I can tell my job that your job will be restricted for this project. So this job will run in different node, first job run in different node, third job will run on different node. So that's what we can restrict here. That's the reason we create three jobs. But how we connect this job? Right now, this all this job is independent. Okay, if I run this, it won't impact this. For example, let me show you. So if I run A1, so my A1 start. Okay, and you can see here my job started. I hold for 10 seconds, I believe. So A1 is running, but after A1 run or fail, successful or pass, it won't impact A2 or A3. But according to my use case, let me also refresh this page. A1 is started. According to my use case, I want this job to be connected in the pipeline. So how can you connect? Okay, for this, there's a plugin available. No, not plugin. Let me first explain different way. Okay, so for this, what can we do? Okay, I will go to let's say uh, this job, and I go inside the configuration of my first job. Okay, and guys, here we can use a concept called trigger. And guys, what it triggers, I already explained to you. Explained to you. Okay, but all the trigger we discussed this trigger already, this trigger already, this also, and this also, and some more trigger we might also discuss. But one trigger left is called build after other project are built. Okay, so this is also one trigger. Okay, so uh, for to explain this trigger, what I'm doing here, let me go out first. Let me go to second project. Okay, and in this second job, let's say this is job one, job two, and job three. I'm going to job two and say you will run yourself. I'm setting trigger, and you guys know trigger means you don't have to manual run it. Somebody come and run this job. Either GitHub come, timer come, somebody come and they will run this job. Now this time I'm telling to job two, job one will come to you. Means after job one run, or it's called build. Okay, and when they build, then it will trigger you, and because they trigger you, you have to run yourself. So technically for the J2, I'm setting J1 would be your upstream job or project. And for this, I'm going to J2 and here I've got to configure, and this I'm going to set a trigger uh, built after built after other project built. And which project this job 2 has to watch, they have to watch project called A job 1. Okay, so this particular project they have to watch. And guys, here you can set conditions. Okay, so you can set if the initial build means job 1 is stable, successful, only then my job 2 will run. Okay, or there might be condition, if the job fail, then I will create one more extra job, let's say backup kind of job. Okay, a job 10, 20 maybe. If this fail, then run this job, and this job will do something else for you. So this kind of condition also you can say, if job fail, you can do what is unstable. There's some example will come in the future. I will explain what is unstable. But this is two example is very clear. First job stable, then only I will run. Or if the first job fail, then only I will run. So depend guys which condition you want to set here. But technically, this is the meaning of this trigger. But by this trigger, My job one become upstream and job two is a normal job. Okay, so this. And same thing I'm doing one more time. I'm going to third job and asking my third job. Okay, you will run yourself only after job two run and that is successful. The successful means stable. So again, I'm setting the same thing, and just I asked this guy to look for job two. Okay, and job two is stable means successful. Then only you have to run yourself. Okay, let me see. That's so, guys. Now you have your I technically I can use the word pipeline here, but normally we don't use the pipeline here. But this is the way we set up upstream and downstream projects. But everybody is linked. Okay, now let me go to job two. Nothing here, but in the job two you can see very clear in this page. For job two, J1 is the upstream and J3 is the downstream. So it's very much clear in the page of job two. That's what I would try to explain to you. And now if I go to job one, okay, and what you will see, guys, as soon as I launch the J1, my J1 is start. See here in the executor is start, and after J1 start and they run successful, and after they're successful, this called stable, then they automatic guys launch job two. Okay, see here, job two automatically come in the queue and then start job two started automatically. I don't have to do anything. And let's say this is your Maven job, and this is your, let's say, deployment job, Apache web server. Okay, job three starters here. Okay, and they are running in the different, because they are different jobs. I can allocate this guy with different Docker image. So the first they launch the slave node, they launch their deployment and do the things for you. So it's very interesting. Till the example what you know already. If you implement with dynamic environment, very interesting setup you will finally have. Okay, and if you go to this job and try to see the log of this job. Okay, and very clear, after the job successful they trigger job two. Okay, and if you click on job two, okay, and see the log of this guy, and say this is triggered by upstream project, and after they're successful they trigger job three. If you click on the job three, and again they're very clear, upstream is job two, and if you see the output, it has been triggered by they have the entire history. Initially started by job one, then they launched job two. Job two is the one who triggered me, and finally successful. And there's no fourth job after this, so finally it is successful. Okay, so likewise we can add job four, job five, job six, right? And we keep on linking further jobs to these jobs. Okay, but now now there might be, let's say, 10 jobs we have for 10 different steps, and every job we have linked like this. And now with this page I have more jobs here, so technically maybe 1,000 jobs we have, but for my project, for my process, for my end-to-end, I just require these 3 jobs. So by looking at this page very messy. Okay, and that easy reason, guys, we always try to create a view. We create a view, and in the view we allocate and say there are 3 jobs related to my project, maybe linked, maybe not linked, but I want to manage in a separate view. But this separate view, guys, doesn't look so great here. It doesn't show you the job one is linked to job two, or they are not linked, they're dependent, don't dependent. Okay, and some more thing. Okay, so this view is just a way to manage the thing, but it doesn't look like that it is properly linked or not, or that doesn't give you proper, beautiful look and feel or web UI kind of thing. Okay, and that is a reason, that is a reason, guys. If you think these 3 jobs are actually linked to each other, you can create a view. But rather than create a view, okay, we will create a concept called delivery pipeline. Okay, it's not a concept actually, it is a plugin actually. It's not a concept. Okay, delivery pipeline is technically this concept, but right now the that implement that I'm going to show you is a plugin. Okay, what it give you, it give you a separate view. In this you can select all the jobs, but in my case I'm going to select these 3 dependent job. or because the three are dependent job, so my delivery pipeline plugin automatically detect this and they give you a beautiful web UI. So what I mean by web UI, by looking at the output, you will automatically come to know what they give to you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a install plugin, manage plugin. And if you go to available plugin, you can find one plugin available. But this plugin I already installed in my setup. So I'll go to install. And if you search for delivery pipeline, so this is a pipeline I'm talking about. This plugin also help you to visualize the delivery for upstream and the downstream dependencies. So if you have any job that upstream and downstream dependencies that I have right now, that are created right now, so this plugin is a good plugin to create a proper visuals or proper user interface called UI. Okay. So this plugin install, in my case, it already installed. Let's keep this plugin name, right? And now what I'm doing here, after you install this plugin, then come to this view. By default, guys, in your Jenkins, they will only ask you for to create two views. But in my case, guys, you can see extra view name come up, and this name is not actually available by default in the Jenkins because I saw some plugin that is a reason this name come up here. And I'm going to use a plugin, view called delivery pipeline view. Okay, and this one, guys, there is one more view called Jenkins pipelines. So in my next classes, I will discuss about this view of pipeline. But right now, I'm just talking about delivery pipeline view. Let me give the name. Let's say delivery pipeline view one, something like this. So I'm select this one. Okay, and okay. And here, they ask you if you go down, a lot of options they have here. Okay, but here they ask you in this pipeline, which all jobs you want to connect or component you want to connect. So add here. Okay, so I'll I'll write a component called my initial job. So all the jobs come up here. So which job you want to start? So understand one thing, guys. Okay, because we already created a job, something like this. Okay, so technically there's no technical reason to start the job directly or start the job directly. My requirement is to start the job one directly. That's all. So I want somebody to start this job. If job one start, this job automatically starts in a sequence for the pipeline. Okay. So I'll tell my this view that I want my this job to be started, my first job. And you are a plugin, you are automatic intelligent. You know further job that is connected with this guy. So this guy automatically guys find one which job depend on one, let's say two, which job is depend on two, let's say three, which job depend on three, there's no. So the automatic guys pull all the job for you. Okay, and just give a component name, let's say my Linus World project some name I'm just giving to this component. So that's the only thing, guys, you have to uh, do here. Okay, maybe some more options we might discuss, right? But this is the main thing you have to do. Okay, and guys, here automatically they pull all the information for you. Okay, I ask this view. Let me again go to all. I ask this view that I'm giving you job one, so they auto pull job one, depend job two, then job three, and plus they also pull all the historical builds you have. Or I done this job, guys, two times. They pull two times and very clear, and they say 2 minutes ago when you start this job, only this job run, this won't run because that time, guys, I haven't connected these jobs. So gray means this job is not run. And next time when I run this job 8 minutes ago, they say this job run, then this run, this run. Everything is successful because we have a green here. So, so they are very clear to have this. Okay. And now if you run the job again, your job will come here. Let me show you. Let me run my first job. Click here button and you go to view or with third job come up and they are very live. They are showing you the job is running. The job is running 5 seconds done. And after job run successful, second run, after second run, third run. So they give you this visual over here. Okay, so that's the guys use of dynamic pipeline plugin. It give you better view in terms of management, and we can very clearly see here what is going on. Okay, but obviously, guys, if one of the job fail, it won't run a second. So guys, let me try to fail one of the job. How? So I'm going to job two. Okay, and I'm configuring something. And understand one thing, guys, when any job fail, so if you guys know some of the concept of Linux, or maybe any of the ways. For example, let's say this is a terminal, okay, and I'm running the date command. How we know date command is successful? Because guys, when you run any command, every command give you code that is called exit code, either successful or failure. And there's a variable called dollar. This variable contain your code, and because this is a variable, so I can use echo command and sorry, not dollar is a question mark. So question is the word who contain your exit code of your last command. And because the variable, I can use dollar to print the value. And if zero come up, so according to Linux, if zero comes means last command was successful. If I run some other random command, this is not command, it's fail. So if 127 come up or any number come up apart from zero, it means the last command was failure. So your cell come to know last command was failure. Okay. So this one. And if you manually want to give error, so we have a command here, exit one or exit two. So anything you write apart from zero is a failure. Okay. If I run this, my shell fail. The last command I got is failure, or because they fail, finally they terminate yourself themselves. Okay. Same logic I'm using here, just to simulate the environment. But technically, if Maven fail or Tomcat fail or web server fail, they will give you their error. But to simulate the environment here, that something failed. So instead of sleep command, what I'm doing here in my job 5, after this command run, I will run exit 1. Okay. So first this command run, they run this job for 5 minutes. Let's say Maven is building. After build, we run this. It will try to simulate that this job failed. And this job failed. Let's see what happened. Okay. So I'll go to my dashboard, and again, if again I run the job, we will see what happened. But just one thing, guys, if you want to run this job in the view, there is no button. It always go to first all, manually click it, and then there are. Okay. So rather than I come to this page again and again, I can give one button here to start this pipeline. So guys, this is actually called pipeline. Okay. How? For this, if you go to where it is, if you go to edit view, okay, in edit view, guys, we have a button called enable start of new build. Just click this icon, enable start of new build. And if you click this icon, you can see the one button come up here. So this view have their own button, and click in this button, your job start. First job will run. If the successful, talk to second run. Second will run, but you know it will fail, and because fail, third won't run. Okay, so this portal will show you uh, what is happening here. Okay, interesting thing is they also show you your job name, the time to run this job. Okay, let's say you're running some machine learning project, so how much time it create to build the model, the model fail or successful, or the fail, do you want to deploy the model? No, in my case, no. So they don't run the third job. Or the model fail, do you want to do something else as a failure, we can accordingly do the further plan. Okay, this is one thing. Some more thing you can do, maybe there might possibility, yeah, you fix this error. Right, so let me so not here, let me fix this error. So I go to my job to, and I fix my error that is giving me the issue. So let me comment this line. Or maybe there's some issue in the Maven, you just solve this issue. Okay, and come to your view. And now technically, in this case, I can run my job, but there's no meaning to run the first job here because first job was already successful. Okay, I want to run my job too, then job two. Right? So because this job is already run, maybe take 2 hours, but I don't want to run my job one again because it was successful. So I want to rerun my job from in pipeline, but from job. So how you can run? There's two way. Either you go here and from here you run the job too. This is one way, or rather than you come this page again here and here, I can go to my delivery pipeline, and in my edit view they give you option to enable rebuild. Okay, so these are the guys options, guys, they do you they you can enable, disable, you can go to help and read what this option will do for you. So very pretty straightforward. It will show you the total build time, it will show you the test result, it will show you job description if you have, it will show you the commit message if you have. So just very simple options. So anytime you can enable, disable your requirement, but whatever guys you are enabling, okay, it will be pop up here. And now you can see some extra options name come up. Now they show you build time also per job. And you can see this icon come up, guys. Last one, it was not there. We will enable the option called build, rebuild, right? And now if you see this job, because this job is already done, so there's no option of rebuild come up, but they know this job is failed. Okay, this option come up, and they see job 3 is not, there's no option, because till the job 2 complete, I can't run job 3. Okay, so they are very, very much smart in this point. And if I click here, they rebuild job 2, and accordingly they will start job 3. So all this control or management, okay, can be done with the delivery pipeline. Okay, delivery pipeline. Okay, and there are some more options, guys, we have here. Just go to edit view, so accordingly you can pick the options and plan the thing. But technical delivery pipeline is a way to to manage or have this view. But we have one more plugin that is more advanced than delivery pipeline. Okay, more advanced than delivery pipeline. They give you more extra controls. Okay, the name of the plugin is called build pipeline. Okay, purpose is same. They give you visuals like this. We can see real time what is happening. Okay, but this pipeline will give you some extra options to have here. Okay, so I'm again going to create one more view. Before this, you have to install a pipeline plugin called build pipeline. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'll go to dashboard, manage plugin. You install a plugin here. Okay, plugin I already installed here. So name, just I'm just sharing with you, called build pipeline plugin. Okay, so install this plugin. Okay, it will be have a better view. Again, we need upstream, downstream. There's a console we need, and this is not duty actually of your plugins to do this. You have to do it. You have to tell which job independent on which, because you know which should be dependent. Okay, so but this plugin will give you some extra options. So after having this plugin, now again go to dashboard. Let me create one more view again, and let me give a name called build Linux world. Let's say job one view, something like this. And guys, after install the plugin, this option will come up here. So this option will come after you install the build plugin. Okay, so just click on this option, that's all. Otherwise, creating this plugin same like delivery plugin. Okay, here they will give you same kind of option here, and just you to just tell what is your initial job. Okay, that's the main thing you have to say. And we know my initial job is job 1. Other job they will automatically uh, pick for you. And here, guys, they create a layout, means design, with the based on pipeline flow. Pipeline flow is based on layout. Layout will be upstream and downstream relationship. So they use this relationship that we have already to create the flow. Okay, so this is one thing, and and some more extra options you can control here, just read. So nothing is more about look and feel. Okay, let me create. Okay, and now guys, this plugin will give you better view plus extra control options. Okay, so by default, guys, this plugin will pick only one one last build. For example, let me run. There's the direct button already there we have here. If I click here, the job is started and job is running. Maybe go to dashboard. Yeah, job is running. Okay, and guys, see from here, or maybe if I can refresh there, they can see the properly with proper color code and all the things. So nothing technically, but this is a different view gonna come. Okay, so a lot of tool directly give to you. For example, here they give you this button directly as a console. You click here, this pop-up come up, and you can see the direct console, the console output we see. So you don't have to go there directly. They give you a console output here. Okay, maybe you can rerun the job from here. Okay, those things they give to you. Okay, And good thing is from here you also can add the step. So I can add a one more step here. Maybe my pipeline require one more step to do after job 3. I want to add job 4. So directly here also we can directly add this step. So let's say this is job A, job 4, and click there. Okay, and this will job will create accordingly set who will build and all the things. Let me this build will done after a job 3. And let me run one step here. So technically we have to do everything for ourselves, because obviously how they know what I want. But they give you direct options to create this. Go to mobile view, you can see one more job come up and some more important time, how much time they run, they show you. Okay, and some more management options they have. So they directly take you here. Okay, so technically it's pretty simple, just click buttons, right? Just go and check what options they have, but they are technically, and look in field perspective, they are better, and some extra options they give you. Even they give you history button directly here. Click here and they show you the entire history, this kind of uh, you know diagram they show you. Okay, so you can see the entire history, what is going on, when the build done, when the fail. This they give in the down, the completable, stable, broken. Okay, and you can see why it's broken. Just click here. This error I put there because of this is broken. Okay, so technically, bigger projects, it is very helpful to see what is going on in our project, which part is stuck, which team is allocated, which node is allocated for the job of this part of the pipeline. So management would be of this job will be very clear. Okay, so guys, this is the meaning of pipeline. Again, by chance, name of plugin is delivery and build pipeline. It look like these are two different kind of pipeline. It's not. It's just a plugins to have a view. But if you really want to create a dynamic pipeline, okay, what I mean by dynamic uh, means where you can control every bit, every granular bit of your pipeline, your process, every steps, every step to be allocated to a different node, and every control, whatever feel like you want to do. Then actual pipeline we can get from a concept called Jenkins pipeline. Okay, so Jenkins pipeline is a very powerful plugin. And this is one of the most important topic for our Jenkins, where we move to a concept called pipeline as code. So guys, you might have heard about infrastructure as a code, okay, or something like this. But by this pipeline, we will move to a concept called pipeline as a code, where we have to actually write a code. In some language, typically they use Groovy as a language. So I will guys explain you first Groovy a little bit, so you would be comfortable. Then we write the code, and because guys, we going to write a code, and code is the only way that will give you a granular control on every task, every steps, every jobs, every connectivity. So maybe you have some caution in your mind, and say, Vimal, I want to do this link, that link. If this fail, this is stable. So multiple you have your point in your mind. Maybe this view plugin will view those things. Again, guys, these plugins won't able to connect the multiple things, right? There's just visual plugin. But if you have some kind of customized requirement, that if this job run, then we do this. If they fail, then we'll go for different pipeline. Then this pipeline run, then I come back to this pipeline again, or whatever any kind of use cases you have, guys. Okay, so these plugin never gonna help you. They will show you the look and feel. That's sometimes very nice to have. Okay, or maybe this dashboard doesn't give you option. Maybe we don't have trigger whatever you're looking for. So any kind of advanced or complex use cases, okay, Jenkins file or Jenkins pipeline is a concept very powerful. I will spend a lot of time over here in this topic. Okay, but technically, main motto for today is pipeline. I believe you guys understand the idea, and plus some of the plugin just to create visuals. Okay, so that's all, guys. For today, I'm just trying to take some smaller class today. But guys, my next class or upcoming class would be depend on Kubernetes. So my team maybe today or tomorrow will share some basic Kubernetes classes. Those who don't know, uh, at least go through classes, get some vocabulary, basic command, plus how to install Kubernetes. So just at least go at that level. So in my upcoming classes, I'll show you how to integrate Kubernetes with the Jenkins, and we'll try to solve some great use cases on the top of this, right? So that's all, guys, for today. Interesting practical. Just try to do it and create your view or the pipeline. Any questions, guys, till now? If you have, you can ask me. Yes, Kesa Jenkins. So job one, job two is depend on each other because I create job two. I, I tell to job two that job one is your upstream project. How? With the help of trigger. How Jenkins built? Rahul, Jenkins never built. Jenkins duty is to allocate the job to your worker node, and in the worker node you have to install your program. For example, in my case, it's Maven. So Jenkins technically calling to Maven and say, Maven, this requirement I have, please solve it to for me. And Maven is the one who will do final everything for you. Can upstream job can be part of multiple plugin? Answer yes, definitely, Pratik. We have a lot of use cases for this. Use cases of this, and maybe one of the use case might not we might discuss here, but recently I delivered one training, open training, some month ago. That is about assembly assembly pipelines, right? So assembly line actually. So there is one example where you have multiple pipelines connect each other for upstream or downstream. But I'll try to take Pratik some example. You definitely, especially when I go for pipeline as a code, you will see some example we definitely construct. Janice, what are you saying? As a learner, you want to educate him, who want to educate himself, but under the mindset of world greatest teacher mental like you. I definitely, Ganesh, Jenny C. I'm not so. I'm so sorry. I'm not able to pronounce your name, but I'm trying my best to put and share your queries, and we'll definitely try our best whatever we can do for you guys. Is setting trigger is compulsory? Answer is no, Rahul. By chance, in this case, I set a trigger. But when we go for Jenkins, pipeline means pipeline is a code. You will see without trigger also we can establish the thing what we need. Because Jenkins pipeline is very important, helpful in machine learning world. Nowadays, the world is about MLOps, right? And in MLOps, means machine learning with help of DevOps, and mostly they use Jenkins pipeline to build the entire life cycle of machine learning. From data gathering to cleaning to pre-processing to model and testing and further things, right? Or tuning your parameter, hyperparameter. So everything is done automatically by pipeline. Now, already your choice. You want to use Jenkins pipelines, and you want to create your own pipeline. That would be your choice. Yes, Nikhil, you can use Jenkins to configure Hadoop, or better way, I suggest use Ansible to configure Hadoop, then use Jenkins to run the job on the Hadoop. For example, Hadoop, you want to run map reduce job, or we want to put some data in HDFS. There you can use Jenkins, but with configuration one time, so better practice to use Ansible kind of product to configure it. You can take session of Google Summer of Code for everyone other than that. So time is the only challenge actually. Tons of thing I have to do parallel. So time is the big challenge. Earth we I open for some very important purpose, and that's what we're doing here. Any prerequisite for Groovy scripting? As such, no. Right? What are the basics we require for Groovy script? I will teach you guys. Don't worry. So there's no prerequisite for any Groovy. There's no date over 294. I suggest guys, all the guys who 294, just try to get the book date as soon as possible. Getting the date would be very challenging. Book it right now, and then you start. Then you start, mm, practicing for the exam. So that's all, guys, for today. And see you guys tomorrow with some more detailed and advanced example. Bye. Take care. Yes, summer program, Anuj, will be a very different level. Summer is our core program. Every year we do. Last year we not able to do, but we do at very different level. Obviously, it's a very unique program. Bye, take care, guys. See you.